Hello, students. I'm welcoming you to this class of Company Law, BLW 3103. And today, we are looking at the meetings that are supposed to be done within the organization by the shareholders. Last week, we went through rotation of shares, and those rotation of shares can only be decided through the meetings formed that are found in the company or formed by the shareholders in the company. This is where decisions are made, that is in meetings, and our purpose is to know the regulations and the process the shareholders must go through to pass decisions regarding the growth of their company or the investment. First of all is the definition of a meeting. What is a meeting and what are meetings? There are two types of meetings. One is a public meeting and the other one is a private meeting. In a public meeting is where members of the public are called for a meeting either by an organization or by the government or within themselves. They call a meeting with a particular agenda to be discussed. Today we are interested with a private meeting. This is a meeting that concerns only shareholders or directors of a particular organization. And its purpose is to come up with decisions that are geared towards improving the performance of the organization. So a private meeting is the one that we are interested in right now. And the issue is there are various procedures, there are various regulations that must be met for it to be valid. Definition, the light definition of a meeting is that a meeting is regarded to be an act of two people coming together to discuss an issue that will benefit them in one way or another. And in this regards, we are talking of directors and shareholders meeting together to forge off the way forward for the betterment of their investment, that is the growth of the organization. According to Sharp and Davis, that is 1876, he talks of two people and above, and there's no maximum in regards to the members of the meeting. So it can be either be two and exceeding two and above with no maximum limit. Now, why are we interested in the issue of meetings? Meetings are very important in an organization because it cannot go forward, it cannot improve or meet the objective of its existence if there are no meetings. Because meetings are where the organization or the shareholders and directors look backward and decide what is aiding our organization. What can we do to improve? Or what have we done better that we have even overachieved our target? In this regard, meetings look forward to improve the existence of their investment, improve the growth or the net worth of the organization by making changes. And those changes are done when they discuss it in a meeting and agree on one or two issues that they have found that require some changes for improving the organization. In that case, meetings are opportunity for making changes for better improvement. Let us look at the classifications of company meetings. Company meetings can be classified into 4 different classifications. One, there's the meetings for shareholders. This is where shareholders discuss issues affecting their investment and make decisions to improve or to rectify something they have done wrong that they can see has a negative effect on the company's growth. 2, meetings of directors. In this kind of a meeting where directors meet, they also look at the performance of the organization and discuss the way forward of either improvement or status quo. That is, they are happy of the position the organization is taking. And so they can make changes or retain the changes if they had a stipulated period that they had discussed that these changes will last for this long. The shareholders meeting is what we call statutory meetings, because there is various periods that they must meet, like in the annual general meeting, and where we have all the shareholders discussing or making views and raising concern of what is happening in the organization. The third one is meeting of debenture holders, where those people who have led the company, who have led company some loans, some money, finances to invest, they can come and discuss and come up with the knowledge that the company is still thinking of their investment and the payment, that the flow of investment that they can be able to be refunded, or where the company can be able to bring in the limelight how they are planning to refund what they had invested in the company. The fourth one is meeting of creditors and contributors. Likewise, these are all stakeholders of the organization, and they are interested to know how the organization is performing so that they can be assured of their return of their investment. Those are the 4 types of meetings, but mostly we are interested with the statutory one. That is the shareholders meeting and the directors meeting. And mostly is the shareholders. Let us put emphasis on shareholders meeting. That is the statutory meetings. In this case, we look at what is required for a meeting to be valid, to be said to be within the rights and regulations that it is set to be performed. Or when is a valid meeting said to be? When is a meeting said to be valid and it has done as per the required regulations? One is that the meeting must be duly commenced. That is, it is by duly commencement means it is within the regulations set by the Companies Act or Article of Association. And with that, the other one is there must have been a notice given to notify the shareholders and the other members, the directors, of there being a meeting and the right duration between when they are informed of there being a meeting and when the meeting will be met, or when the meeting will be actualized. Then there must be that duration must be as per the Article of Association. And if the article does not stipulate the period, then it is 1 week before the meeting. Next is condition is the quorum. A quorum must be there. You cannot call a meeting, and the article states that there must be either a quota of the members, and you are two of you or three, and then you say you can constitute a meeting. That meeting is not, it is invalid. And whatever it passes cannot be said to be a decision, and it cannot involve, or it cannot bind the company. So it is ultra vires. Then there is the minutes. Within the meeting, when people are discussing, the shareholders and directors are discussing issues to do with the decisions they want to pass, then the proceedings must be rested, they must be written. As the proceedings are going on, there must be somebody writing what is happening or what is being discussed in the meeting. Next condition is that the content of the notice must involve everything that will be discussed in that meeting, such that, so that the members, when they are coming in the meeting, they have everything at their disposal to know what is to be discussed, and you cannot take them in surprise. They must be given time to come up with issues and what they will discuss, so that they are informed in advance, and so that when they are making a decision, it is a well thought and researched decision that can benefit the organization at heart. Every member of the meeting must have a notice beforehand. So if some of the members have notice but others do not, then the meeting will be invalid, because some will not be able to participate with the rightful information that is required for a decision to be made that involve somebody's investment. Then we have an issue that we want us to discuss, and that is the contents of the notice. What is there? What should be there in that notice that we are insisting that members must have it prior to the meeting being held? The condition that must be met in the notice is that it must have a purpose. Why is the organization calling a meeting for the shareholders? That is the purpose. Next, it must have a notice of resolution. What are the resolution? What are the decisions you want the members to make? So that you guide, if there's a guidance on what you want to achieve in that meeting. It must have an objective, the direction. There must be a direction where you can direct the organization to, the organization's directors to direct their input on, so that they don't deviate from the relevant objectives. And the various varied reasons for the notice is that it can either be removing a director, that is one of the items that should be in a notice. Two, authorizing the appointment of a director who has been a director for about 7 years. That is, he has outlived his period of directorship. Three, appointing an auditor, and this must be an annual general meeting, as well as changing a director because there is another one who is retiring. Next, this is where, when the director is retiring and he has gone through his maximum period, then he has no chance of reappointment. That is where we have a resolution that we must choose or replace that auditor who is retiring. Then we look at one condition that must be met when a meeting is going on or is being convened, and this is the quorum. What is a quorum? This is the maximum number of members that can convene a valid meeting. A valid meeting, when it is an ordinary meeting, everything that is discussed in an ordinary meeting must pass a decision using a majority votes. A majority vote means when they vote, the majority members have to have their way. Meaning, even if it is one person who is above the other side, then it has their way. And these ordinary meetings or ordinary resolution must be there in the article of association. But when it is an extraordinary resolution that is being met, the quorum in a meeting must be, the quorum of a meeting must be at least stated in the article of association, and the majority, the side that take its way is 3/4 of their shareholders. Those are the ones that decide or come up with a decision on what side to go. Otherwise, when the meeting does not have a quorum, then it is invalid. And whatever is decided will be invalid from that position. And it is the prerogative of the chairman to know whether the meeting have a quorum or not, so that if it does not consist a quorum, then the meeting should be called off. It is wise to note here that, I want the student to note here that when there is no information about what consists a quorum, then 2 people or 3 people can form a quorum if the article is silent about the quorum. Now, the issue of quorum is sometimes not, or has been overtaken by events because of the technology, the issue of technology. Because technology has come about where even people can be able to form or to make a decision in a meeting where there is Skype. These days there is Skype. And the quorum, because of the technology, people can even hold meetings when they are in different rooms, provided the technology is that all the people can convey and can participate in a way that they are able to discuss the issues concerned and raise and even vote. Technology has even made possible for an organization that has more members, like now, like Safaricom. An example is Safaricom in Kenya, where they have over 1 million shareholders, above 1 million shareholders. And these people must be there in an annual general meeting. How is that done? This is where technology has come to improve. And provided that the chairman knows that the members are present in those Skype or the technology that is being used, then it can be said to be having a quorum. So satellite communication is being utilized by people nowadays to form meetings and discuss issues and make decisions that are valid. Now, I have been mentioning things about the chairman. Chairman deciding whether a quorum is there or whether a good notice was given, a valid notice, and whether the meeting that is being held is valid or invalid. So it is very important to know why we have a chairman. And who is a chairman? A chairman is the most important person when it comes to meetings in an organization. A chairman, he is the one who presides over, he's the presiding officer of the meeting that is being held by an organization, either from a shareholding point of view, director's point of view, or any other meeting. The chairman must be present when the proceedings in the meeting are going on. He acts as the bona fide member and must act wholly in the interest of the company. He must not have divided loyalty. He must not be biased when deciding on issues. And that is why we are saying the chairman is the most important person when a meeting is being held. And mostly when a decision is being made and there's voting, he has the right to an extra vote so as he can decide the two sides if they are tarrying. A chairman must ensure that the meeting is duly convened. That is, all the conditions set by the article are being met and as per the constituting of the requirements. The chairman also ensure that the proceedings are going on as per the regulations and that those people inside the meeting are conducting themselves in the right manner and the right process or the right procedure. So we are speaking or we are talking of the role of the chairman in a meeting, because the chairman is a very important person when meetings are being done or being held. This is because the chairman is the one who decides whether the meeting is valid or invalid. He is the one who also decides whether the meeting has a quorum or has no quorum. The chairman also becomes the presiding officer. He's the one in charge when proceedings are being done in the meeting, and he controls the members of the meeting. He makes sure that he acts as the bona fide member of the meeting, and sometimes he has an extra vote when people or members of the meeting decides to vote and they find themselves tallying. He has the leeway to vote for an extra vote to decide on which side the meeting or the decision should go. So he has an important role to play, and that's why I said always tell students that he has a very important role and a crucial person who should not take sides, and he must have the benefit of the organization at heart. He also ensures that the meeting is well constituted and within or properly convened. That is, it is within the law or within the article of association. It is the role of the chairman also to make sure that the proceedings of the meeting are properly and regularly conducted. That is, there is no unruly member in the meeting. He also ensured that the provision of the act in the article is followed to the letter, and there's no deviation of the said regulations that is done, so that there is no invalidity of any decision or resolution that is being made. He also ensured that any business transacted within the meeting is within the scope of the notice, and there's no deviation whatsoever. And he guides the meeting to the right direction and makes sure that order is made to the end of the meeting. He also ascertained that the meeting is properly done and any question raised are fully answered and explanation given for any person to make a decision on which side he would like the company to take. Likewise, when voting comes, he is the one who announces the results of the voting. Another role of the chairman is to make sure that there is no incidental questions that will be left unanswered or tackled that can help a member to make a decision. In that case, being a bona fide member and having an extra powerful vote so that he can decide or to separate the two sides if they tarry, then he is required to maintain independence and not deviate from the role he is required to take. Next is when there is decision to be made and the polling is taking place, he guides the members on the role to take, when to vote, and any disorderly person is removed from the meeting so that we can have order during the meeting. Next is that he also gives members a reasonable time to discuss before they decide on the way forward. This is so that when a decision is made, there is nobody complaining that the period they were given was short of them making an informed decision concerning the organization. Next is that he must wholly take charge and take care and be mindful of the minority, so that even the minority voice is heard through the hand of the chairman. In an ordinary meeting, this is where we have ordinary resolution. In an ordinary resolution is where various items to be discussed are found in the article of association. So what's an ordinary resolution? It is a resolution passed at a general meeting of a company through majority of votes. So even if it is one extra vote ahead of the other group, then that group that has one extra vote takes the win. There are various resolutions that are made in an ordinary meeting, on a general meeting, and these are the authorization to issue shares at a discount. This was through the article. The article guides the company on how to go through it, and that one can be passed in an ordinary resolution. Second is to increase the share capital if authorized by the article, that is, or to alter the share capital, but not to reduce the share capital. So in an ordinary resolution, you can increase but not reduce the share capital, subscribed capital. Another resolution in an ordinary resolution is the appointment of an auditor and also the declaration of dividend, so that you can decide whether to replace the auditor, we had mentioned it earlier, or declare a particular dividend, and what is to be paid, the amount of money to be declared as dividend, with the guidance of the financial management. Then we have the appointment of directors. This is also an ordinary resolution because it is within the article, and it has a guidance of the article of association. Then we have the approval of the accounts, books of accounts, and the statements. These are things that are passed in an ordinary meeting. And lastly is winding up voluntarily of the organization, but it must be within the article, the provision of the article. So those are the various resolutions that can be in an ordinary meeting. Then we have an extraordinary resolution. This is that resolution that is passed by a majority of members, not less than 3/4. Why is it so? It is because it is not within, it doesn't have the guidance of the article. So which are those resolutions? One is altering objectives of a company. 2, altering of the article of the organization. 3, changing the name of the company and creating a reserve liability. The other one are authorizing the payment of interest to shares out of capital where such authority is not given by the article. As I said, extraordinary notices are those that are not within the article. There's nothing that the article states on what to be done. Next is reducing the share capital of a limited company, and then appointing an inspector to investigate the affairs of a company if the members realize that there is need of doing so. Next is making unlimited liability of directors or managers of a limited company. Next of the resolution is authorizing an assignment of office by directors, and then instituting a members voluntary winding up, resolving that a company be wound up by order of the court. This is not through the article, but by order of the court. And lastly, authorizing the liquidator to accept shares in consideration for the sale of the company's property. So the company has the leeway to refuse the company's property to be sold, but to buy shares and be able to pay for the debt that is forcing the company to be wound up. Thank you, class. We have come to the end of our lesson. Hoping next week we meet with the next topic, and thank you for your listening. Thank you.
These televised lectures supplement our robust online learning going on our MKU online platform. You can view more on our televised lectures via our online platform. We are in a digital era, and Mount Kenya University knows this. The following are the steps to follow so as to complete your online application. Download the application form from the website www.mku.ac.ke. Attach copies of your academic certificates and ID. Pay the application fees via M-Pesa pay bill number 270988. Your ID is the account number. 2,000 shillings is the charge for a postgraduate. You can also deposit in the bank accounts provided on the website. Then email all the above to apply@mku.ac.ke.